Hello. In this podcast, we will be discussing our opinion on the statement. British Airways should do everything it can to ensure that all its customers are loyal, which will then ensure long-term profitability for the organisation. To begin with this, we must ask ourselves the question, what is loyalty? The Business Dictionary defines loyalty as the likelihood of previous customers to continue to buy from a specific organisation. When it comes to flying, a big question to ask is to do with the service encounter. This means the period of time that customers interact with service. This then identifies the length of a flight, as the longer flight entails you to have more interactions with services of that flight, such as the employees and the seats. In terms of long-haul flights, we must consider the biggest airlines we can think of, such as British Airways. A company such as this face heavy competition with the likes of Emirates and Virgin. One way to strengthen their competitive position is by retaining passengers as loyal users. This will mean that they'll choose the airline not once, but repeatedly. This can then lead to customers becoming less price sensitive and requiring a lower effort to communicate with. For that reason, we now believe that British Airways should aim to keep all of their customers loyal. One way they're already doing this and keeping the majority of their customers loyal is through the use of Love Exploring. We found that they released that 0.0001% of customers complain per million, indicating a lower service to failure rate. In addition to this, through the use of Statista, we found that 48.5% of an increase in the number of passengers from the years of 2010 to 2018. As well as this, from the same years, there was an increase of 52.9% of worldwide revenue, showing a positive correlation there.
British Airways uses many ways to ensure customer loyalty. One of the main programs they use is the Executive Club. Executive Club uses 4 different tiers: the blue, bronze, silver, and gold tier. These tiers are not earned by spending money, they are earned by gaining Avios points, which is the Executive Club's currency. The higher the tier, the more upgrades, including early seat selection, available flight upgrades, priority boarding, and access to the executive lounge. You can gain points by using car rentals, hotels, and flights. However, the points will expire after 36 months. On top of the Executive Club, British Airways also relies on their customer service to ensure customer loyalty. They use multiple numbers for multiple different inquiries and have numbers for countries all across the globe.
As mentioned earlier by my colleague, British Airways have a loyalty program known as the Executive Club, where members can earn Avios reward points, redeem these for flights, upgrades, hotels, and much more. You can join for free unless you're in Australia, but you still can join, you just have to use a foreign address. The minimum amount of points which you can earn are 125 and the maximum is 1,500 per flight. According to Statista 2019, the leading airline brand ranked by the Brand Index score is British Airways with a score of 24.3, leading their rivals Virgin, Emirates, and Singapore Airlines. The loyalty program is a factor into this brand score. Aside from that, other benefits include gaining miles from Qantas Airlines, being able to transfer your miles from British Airways to their lower budget airlines, as you'd be able to get a bigger reward for less miles on the budget airlines. You're able to also gain miles through buying Groupons, which British Airways have just installed to make it more affordable to their lower income customers. There's also miles for each shopping purchase made at the British e-retail store. This is also another incentive for holiday goers. British Airways also have a partnership with Langham Hotels, in which if you're a gold member, you get to receive complimentary top tier status, and even if you're a blue member, you still can benefit from room upgrades, 6 p.m. checkout, and welcome gifts. I don't believe that we should amend their loyalty program. I believe that it should just be maintained and monitored, as British Airways are a leading airline across the globe. According to TripAdvisor, 75% of customers believe that British Airways' executive club is either excellent, very good, or average. This data was gained from 48,122 reviews, 75% of which were rated at this place. Following this, my colleague Billy is going to speak about the loyalty and how it can lead to longer term profits.
Reducing customer defections will also increase the profitability for a business such as British Airways. A longer term customer will reduce the operating costs as they will have an idea of what the customer is like and know what the customer expects of the business and what to expect from the customer. And with this, they can therefore reduce the need for interaction with consultants, and it will lead to a more efficient workspace. Loyal customers will also advertise on behalf of British Airways as they will spread word about the services that they offer through word of mouth and recommendations, and this reduces marketing costs for British Airways. An article by Reicheld and Sasser Jr., published by Harvard Business Review, showed that a company called MBNA calculated that the defection rate of a business dropping from 20% to 10% will double the length of relationship with the customer and business from 5 years to 10 years, and the customer value will go from $134 to $300. If the defection rate drops another 5%, then the relationship length will double again, and the value will go from $300 to $525. A graph was also produced in this report, and it showed that the profits from a reduced operating cost will significantly increase as a result of an increase in more loyal customers as well.
Following on from Billy, other issues to be considered to ensure profitability apart from customer loyalty consist of, in terms of marketing profitability, can be ensured through promotions such as adverts that can be seen on the British Airways website, their Facebook and Twitter account, and also the television. Another instance is through the British Airways' scheme named Flying with Confidence that has been able to convince potential customers with a success rate of 98% in order to conquer their aerophobia and allow them to fly with British Airways. BritishAirways.com 2019. A strategic business design, as well as planning and forecasting, can also tremendously improve the profitability, stated by Lazio 2019. Another important factor that can ensure profitability is that the company objectives and missions, based on the Harvard Business Reports called How Great Companies Think Alike. This shows that there's been a shift from solely the service being provided to the company's beliefs and greater objectives also being incorporated into decision making of the consumer. Corporate responsibility, such as lower carbon emissions, cost-based plan, a plan of growth, and upgraded customer service experience are all part of British Airways' missions in order to gain more customers and ensure their long-term profitability. A prevention of service failure is also imperative to keep profitability at an optimum rate. Such factors such as efficiency, having a high flight success rate, accessibility in terms of response of requests and making sure customers always have the ability to book a flight, and in terms of making sure customers are always happy. Improving customer services by opening 24-hour lines would also help do this. Finally, innovation is a very effective way in order to increase long-term profitability. This combined with customer feedback and market research will definitely ensure a company's long-term profitability.
Considering the competitive environment of the airline industry, we all strongly believe that British Airways should aim to keep all of its customers loyal, which will then lead to long-term profitability.